Happy 4th of July, everybody. So I am coming up on my 3-year anniversary, which is going to coincidentally coincide with my 10,000th subscriber almost to the day. I have like 22 days to go. I need 96 subscribers. It basically breaks down to about 4 a day. I average higher than that, so I'll probably get it done a little sooner than, but it's going to be really, really close. So definitely have a video. I'm not sure what yet I'm going to do for the 3-year 10,000 subscriber thing, but I definitely need to do something. Now, last night in preparation for the 4th of July, I always like to do some holiday movie. I watched Uncle Sam. Directed by William Lustig and written by Larry Cohen, and been a while since I had seen it. I remember I used to have that VHS cover that had like the hologram cover, much like the Jack Frost VHS did. And I remember thinking it was not good. Like, I remember thinking it was kind of silly, not memorable all that much. But having gone back and rewatched it, this is one of the very rare times. Well, okay, I should say this is the only time where I've actually sat through an entire film that I meant to review, and when it was over, I had no interest in doing so. Like, this movie is such trash to me. This movie has nothing interesting to talk about, that when it was over, I was like, well, what the fuck do I do? Like, you have Isaac Hayes in here, PJ Souls, Robert Foster. You know, these names that I'd like to discuss, and it's always interesting hearing Isaac Hayes' voice, thinking of Chef from South Park. And having looked at his IMDb page and realizing he's been dead for over a decade now. I didn't realize it had been that long. It was pretty fucking crazy to me. I just did not realize. But yeah, I just like, the kills are all terrible. Like, there's nothing memorable, nothing interesting about the kills. The villain of the movie is extremely silly. His motives are, people are not being patriotic, so he goes out and kills. The effects work, like, let's say the makeup effects on the wheelchair kid who burned up his face with fireworks is dreadful. Now, I'm not somebody who shits on things because they're low budget and their special effects aren't good. And it's just that when you have nothing going for you, that's when I have my issues. It's like, I can look past bad acting. I can look past shoddy special effects. I can look past, but you have to have something going for you. And the whole idea of this kid who has an uncle who died in the war, and his uncle's name was Sam, obviously, and this kid wants to kind of follow in his footsteps. He's all Mr. Patriotic. He thinks everyone in town who isn't patriotic, who doesn't love their country, calls people cowards for not going to Vietnam. He's pissed off at people who talk shit about anything American. All of that stuff. Like, I think there's a good concept here. This definitely could have been fun. Had this been put, and that's just it. That's why it's I guess more frustrating to me, because the director of this has done such good stuff in the past. The writer of this has been attached to plenty of good things in the past. So what gives with this film? This film, it's a fun concept. It's a 4th of July slasher. And I meant to do this for Slasher Sunday, but as soon as I watched it, I'm like, I'm not fucking doing this for Slasher Sunday. I would have been a day late, since Sunday is tomorrow and 4th of July is today on Saturday. But regardless, it was like, oh, it would be close enough. And I sat down, I was going to take notes. And by the end of the notes, I was just kind of like, wrote the people's names out, wrote that the kid was patriotic, wrote how I personally think that also, in addition to the character in this movie who is kind of talking trash about the national anthem and being like, it's a dumb song, like, why do we sing it? Do you even know the lyrics? Do you even know what they mean? And I'm sitting there like, 100%, I'm with you 100%. It's such a stupid song and I'm so fucking tired of hearing it. Now, that might make me un-American, unpatriotic, whatever, and you can come kill me, Uncle Sam, if you want. But I'm just so fucking tired of hearing that song. Like, everywhere you go, and everyone has to stand up and put their fucking hand... wrong hand. See how much I don't care? I'm just tired of it. I'm just not a traditionalist. I think that's what it is. Like, I'm not Mr. Grinch who's like, fuck holidays. But I'm kind of Mr. Grinch that's like, fuck holidays. I don't hate them, though. Like, when Christmas comes around, it's like fun. Especially when you have kids. And Halloween and all those things. But, I don't know. It's just... It's the tradition of those holidays that I find to be eye-rolling. They're just so outdated. They're so silly. And I just sit back and I'm like, do we really have to do this? I mean, come on. How many of you go to a fucking sports game or go to something and they're like, please stand for the national anthem, and you just sit there with your hand and you're like, oh, fuck me. And the person comes out, oh, see. And everybody has their like different version of it, and it's always supposed to be some big American thing. And I couldn't give a fuck. I couldn't give a fuck. You know what's funny though? My dad is like aggressively against fireworks. I don't know if he was like getting molested by somebody when fireworks are going off in the background, but he's like seriously PTSD about them. He hates them. Like, he doesn't like cower in a corner like, oh my God, fireworks. But like anytime we're like, all right, come on, Papa, let's go. Papa is what we call him for the kids. Let's go take the kids to, watch some fireworks. And he is just, like, he's gotten into fights with his wife, even before the kids. Like, I remember there was fireworks going off in the background once of where we were sitting. We were sitting at a restaurant, and his, like, back was to them. And everyone was looking at him, and a few people kept being like, Lamarck, do you want to look at the fire? And he was just like, no, fireworks are stupid. Fireworks are stupid. I'm not looking at them. I'm not going to look at them. And then someone finally, he looked up and he's like, oh wow, look, colors. Oh wow, it's the same fucking thing. You seen one, you seen them all. My dad is not that guy. That makes my dad seem a certain way. Like, I explain that guy and you're like, oh, Jason's dad's like that. He's nothing like that. That's not him at all. He is never like that with literally anything else I've ever seen in my entire life. For some reason, fireworks are just the devil to him. He just looks at them like, why do you exist, you pointless pieces of shit? Please get the fuck out of here before I jump up there and punch every fucking firework in the face. He's just so against fireworks. So funny to me. So, of course, I'm going to be the guy that tonight being like, come on, Dad, let's go look at some fireworks. Don't you want to go look at some fireworks? And I just fucking force him to go because I'm a dick like that. But yeah, somebody told me that Cape Fear has a night in it that takes place on 4th of July. And Max Cady in that is almost a slasher. Maybe I should do that for Slasher Sunday. It's a Scorsese flick. So, the remake anyways. I don't know if... I did see the original. Just a long time ago. So that'd be a fun one. And then I know like Return of the Living Dead is set around then. Which I've already reviewed. And then No and Then. Anybody else always think that fucking Dude Where's My Car line has like ruined And Then for me? Anytime I write And Then, I always want to scream No and Then in my head. What are other 4th of July movies? I know there's some other ones. Obviously Independence Day. I mean, I'm not talking about non-horror. There's some other ones, but I think everyone that I've seen that's set on 4th of July. Oh, like I Know What You Did Last Summer. I've already done those. So pretty much there's nothing left for me to do. This was like it. This was like the only horror movie set on the 4th of July left. And I was like, oh, Uncle Sam. It's like the perfect, setup for an Independence Day themed horror movie. It's Uncle Sam. It's set on 4th of July. It's like, it's perfect. It's not perfect. It's a piece of shit. It's a terrible fucking movie and there's nothing good about it. You even get this like peeping Tom guy on stilts that like goes up into a girl's window, and she's pretty hot, blonde, and she like does show her tits and her ass for like a half a second. And I was like, come on, man. In a movie like this, you need to go completely gratuitous with that. At least give the audience something to work with here. And then she gives one of the most hilariously terrible performances, like something you see in a parody, where somebody's like mad at kids in a movie and they like stick their hand out the window, like they got their grandma to act in a movie for a second and the grandma had no interest, so they're like, come on grandma, just do a quick line where you shake your fist and go, you damn kids, how dare you. That is the level of acting this girl gives when she opens the window. And it's like ADR, it's like, you know, added fucking audio track after the fact. It's not even her voice, so it might be her voice added in later, but it's not the audio from that scene. But anyways, it's so fucking funny. She just like, she's pissed, she grabs her towel, puts it back on, and then she like opens the window and she gets out and she's like, you damn blah blah blah, whatever the fucking guy's name is, you pervert, get on. It's it's legitimately one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. And then the kid in this, oh my god, you want to talk about a horrid haircut? What in the hell is up with haircuts in this time period? It hurts my hairdressing heart to look at the haircut like that. Here I am like reviewing the movie, but I'm not saying anything. This is the problem. There's nothing to talk about. Like I just kept being like, oh, the dude wants to get laid from his girlfriend. Both the dudes in this seem to want to try to get laid by their women, and they're both kind of just cock blocking or pushing them away and being like, oh, you already got your goodnight kiss. And like the guy's like, oh, well, you could give me a little this and that. And she's like, oh, come on. Like the chicks in this movies are fucking prudes, man, straight up. Not that you need to give affection at every single second, and every time your guy comes onto you, you got to give it to him 100%. But this is a film, and you can focus on any moment in your relationship you want to, and every chick in this movie is like horribly against their guy touching them. But I guess they're dealing with the PTSD of their brother and their husband, you know, the sisters here. But yeah, it's such a non-movie. Like these kids are burning an American flag, so he goes and kills them. Nothing interesting about the kills. He goes and, you know, finds out some mayor is not all that patriotic, so he goes and he like fucking sets him on fire with fireworks. And then like at the end, Isaac Hayes takes a cannon and fires it at him, but this cannon can't move. Plus he doesn't really even pack anything in this cannon to fire it again. But then he throws it, and I guess Uncle Sam just has to walk directly to the cannon and directly at the cannon the entire time. And then Isaac Hayes uses a fuse about this long, instead of just like ripping it off and putting it in there and making it this long so that when he lights it, that it'll actually just fire almost instantaneously. He's like, grabs a fuse that's like 6 days long and he just lights it and he goes home and he fucking has, you know, a coffee and he watches a movie and then he comes back and he checks on the fuse and it's still going. He's like, all right, I got time to go and wash my car and do whatever. Like, this movie is so fucking dumb, and not a dumb fun. Not a like so bad it's good, nothing. I was watching it just in pain the entire time. Like the acting is dreadful, the story is interesting. It could go somewhere. I like the premise. I love the premise. You have the kid who has an uncle whose name's Sam. He dresses up in an Uncle Sam costume to kill people who aren't patriotic on the 4th of July. And it's about a kid who cares about his, you know, country, and he's like, I'm going to listen to the president no matter what he says because he's always right. He's like super, super hardcore patriotic. It's a great premise. Like, it really is for this kind of movie. Like, when they're like, make me a 4th of July slasher, the premise for this movie is pretty much exactly what it needs to be. Like, if I was to come up with anything for 4th of July slasher, this would be basically the best thing I could come up with. But the execution is horrid. All right, I beat on that enough. Happy 4th of July, everybody. I know we really can't go anywhere. We got to practice social distancing and everything, and there's not really anywhere to go, and I don't even know what the hell they're doing for these fucking fireworks tonight. But I hope you guys have a fun night regardless, and yeah, look forward to 3 years and 10,000 subscribers very, very soon. Adios.